there, my name is Svila Beck and the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share and subscribe and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. As you can see, I'm in festive fare. The holiday of Hanukkah starts on Sunday night. Is it Sunday night? I think it's Sunday night. Last Saturday. I will be adorned, festively attuned for the entirety of the celebration. And yeah, I have to tell you, I really love Christmas. So, I'm a rabbi. Yeah, I'm Jewish. I'm a rabbi. I live in Israel. I live in Samaria. I live where Abraham kept his goats. He had goats, I think. Anyway, so, but, I do love Christmas. My poor wife, I think, is upstairs making mince pies right now because she is wonderful. She's American and she's still making mince pies. That's how wonderful she is. It was the press screening for the first episode of the season 12, Spyfall, about 2 nights ago, and we're starting to get early impressions from it, and it sounds like it actually might be quite good. Now, if you're new to my channel or you come back, you will know that I did not like season 11. I really, really didn't like season 11 for many reasons. None of them to do with Whittaker's gender. I was actually kind of on board for that. I was excited for that. I think in story terms it worked. I think the when Capaldi's doctor regenerated, he wanted a complete renewal and rebirth, something totally different. And plus, he had that intimate relationship with Master Missy, and so how Missy had swapped genders. So I can see that's something that character would do, and I think it worked. And I thought it was interesting. I just don't think the way they executed it worked at all. Well, it's weird. Yeah, I just had this ongoing thing on Facebook with Jodie Whittaker fans. Yeah, so you got to check out this other video I did about it. This guy, somebody put up a meme of Jodie Whittaker holding up psychic paper saying, "I'm not going anywhere." So I replied, "Don't worry, Jodie. The audience is going away instead." And they freaked out. Oh my god, they totally freaked out. But here's the thing with Jodie Whittaker fans: they are obsessed with gender, sexual orientation, skin color, ethnicity, religion. They're obsessed with all these things. With things that I think are surface details that really shouldn't matter at all. And it's kind of demeaning and tokenism when you do make that the central trait of the characters in your in your TV show. Which is the first reason why I didn't like it. The second reason why I didn't like it was I found it very divisive. I think having a Trump-like villain and jokes about Brexit. Again, the trouble is, Chibnall and crew live in an echo chamber. This Twitter blue mark echo chamber, and they convince themselves that anybody who doesn't agree with them is either a rabid racist, hating anybody not like themselves, or a bumbling simpleton. And in either case, both those people need to be lectured to, which is why I think season 11 was so incredibly preachy. And then you want to throw in the stories a week. They were the two-dimensional villains, not entertaining. The Moffat era got politically correct and preachy, especially towards the end. But they still delivered entertaining drama, and even though they were certainly pro one side of the cultural aisle, they weren't what's the word, diminishing to the other side. They weren't disparaging to. I don't think they were. I can't think of a time. Again, I think having UNIT disbanded because of Brexit. Again, in the echo chamber, that was kind of completely reasonable and fun. But I think as the recent UK election showed us, the echo chamber is very much out of step with popular opinion. It was my hope, and it's actually more of my hope now that Chibnall and crew have realised that the social agenda that they very much want to talk about, that they think it's very important that we normalise there being a female doctor, and we normalise whatever is the current thing in vogue. Back in the Moffat era, it was same-sex marriage, so they did a same-sex marriage reference in, I think, beginning of Matt Smith's second season, when it was really, really big. So now this one, they're very big into being transgendered. Fine, okay, you know what? My thoughts on that is I'm happy to be polite. I'm happy to be polite to anyone and call anybody whatever makes them most comfortable. So if they're if they're born a male and they identify as female, I'll call you a woman. I don't mind. I'm not going to believe they're a woman, though. I'm not going to believe somebody born a female is male. I'm not going to believe that. I'll be polite and I will coexist, but I won't. Yeah, I'm not going to alter and this was like my beliefs are based. It's one of the few areas where biblical philosophy and science actually are on the same page. Science is pretty clear. For 99.9% of all life, there are but two genders. There's male and female, and that all life includes humanity. For 99% of people, they are either male or female, and they are not. And for the 99%, for I think 100% of human history. Again, you want to identify something? I don't mind that, but what season 11 did, it disparaged people that didn't have the same politics and ideological outlook as Chibnall, which is why I feel it was divisive. Finally, Whittaker's performance, firstly they portrayed her as like not knowing what's going on and not being able to come up with any plans or fix anything, really, over and over again. And also she was very patronising, talking down to people. So you can't have both. You can't have talking down to somebody and be patronising. That all said, Spyfall looks pretty good. So Spyfall looks like they may have done some significant course correction. And if they have, look, this is what I want to do. I really want to be fair. Again, I want to be fair because I like to be fair, but I also love Doctor Who. So I'm going to go into it imagining that everything after the Ghost Monument didn't happen. I'm just going to wipe that all from my memory. I might remember the Dalek episode, but basically I'm going to try and go in as fresh ones, because when we hit the end of the Ghost Monument, I was still very, very optimistic. Rosa didn't really appeal to me. It was okay. The Space Racers was annoying and stupid. But they made it as an episode that you couldn't complain about by making it, by having it about the subject matter, which I think quite horribly again reduced Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks to tokens. It's just horrible. Especially Dr. Martin Luther King, probably one of the most important people in the history of the Western world. That being said, I'm hoping they pull it together. So I'm starting getting tweets out about the premiere, and it's so hard to tell because I go I see a tweet somebody saying it's marvelous, and then I go and click on their profile. Let me see what his review was. Was it a few pics of last night's Doctor Who shenanigans with the lovely Emily Rosa and of DWM tweets. Never heard of her. Okay. No spoilers, of course, but you are gonna love it. Love in capitals. It's the next level awesome. I said to Matt Stevens 1. Matt, you've knocked it out of the park. I don't know, Matt Stevens is probably, I think he's a producer. Okay, so that sounds like a pretty exciting start to the season. But then I look at it I look at his Twitter profile. He's got a Euro flag and a British flag and a blue check mark right next to his name. Those are three things that are bad. Those are three things that invalidate you. And so then there's who was it? There's another guy. I'm going through them right. Patrick Malcolm, who up until season 11 came out, I agreed with him on most things, but he doesn't have a blue check mark, and he doesn't. His Twitter feed is not filled with Brexit. He mainly talks about Doctor Who, talks about classic Doctor Who, and I mainly agree with him most things. I really disagreed with some of his reviews from last year. He loves Arachnids in the UK, which I think is not just the worst episode of Doctor Who ever. And again, I want to reiterate, I just rewatched Terror of the Vervoids, and that was awful. Arachnids in the UK was far, far, far worse. So he liked that. But then after that, you saw his reviews go downhill. So I think, look, my journey was pretty much the same. I was trying to be positive until, what's the one after Arachnids in the UK? The Songra conundrum, when it was just like a space bunny who just wanted to eat spaceships. Also, and by that point, I think it started to sink in that this was not the greatest Doctor Who. And his reviews, while still being a bit shilly, He reviews for Radio Times. Look, I may be reading into it, but he seems to have like he seems to have not been so enthusiastic. So he says, Spyfall Part One, most enjoyable launch to new Doctor Who series. That sounds very promising because the initial launch for Rose, I remember they had this whole thing where they had brought a Dalek in and they had like people playing SAS army guys coming out the ceiling, firing. They sounds like they put on a fantastic. I would have loved to have seen it. I would have loved to have been there. So he's saying Spyfall, most enjoyable launch to a new Doctor Who series. That sounds very good. Lovely to see so many kids so many enthused kids in the auditorium. See, this is my other thing. I hope this is what I'm hoping. Doctor Who, I feel, is best when it's written for intelligent 12-year-olds. I feel season 11 was written more for average 6-year-olds. And yeah, so it was much more simplistic. So if it depends what the kids are. If the kids are a little bit, if the kids are, I think 12 and they're into it, that's reason to be excited. If they're younger, it doesn't really mean. But okay, but I want to be fair to Doctor Who because I want to love Doctor Who. You know, I've got to show you my. I think maybe on Christmas I'll do a tour of my office because I have all the Doctor Who things, like literally on virtually every one that's come out in the 5-inch scale up until I think pretty much all of them. Looking around, there's a one or two here, but I didn't buy a 13th Doctor doll because a 13th Doctor figure because I was so upset with Doctor Who at that point. I would like to start to love Doctor Who. I would like to love Jodie Whittaker as Doctor Who. Or I would like to not hate her as Doctor Who. If I could just not hate her as Doctor Who, I could even go through another season. I can go through season 13 with her as well. So again, my hope is, I truly believe there was an element of social engineering with season 11, but Chibnall has realised that you're not going to be very good at social engineering if the society is rejecting what your output. So hopefully he's realised he's got to put out a more entertaining product. And that's what they seem to be saying. That's my hope. Let's wait and see. My name is Sela Beckin, the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share and subscribe. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And let me know what you think. Thanks so much for listening and have a great day.